I have games and updates you can play right now in this video, including some hidden gems, blockbuster hits, a dose of roguelites, visually stunning titles and more, so let's begin with Jump King Quest, the Redcrown update, the first major update to this early access frustration platformer, which includes significant enhancements to gameplay and progression. A major overhaul reduces character attributes from 14 to 8, and refines the early game areas with new goals and pacing improvements, also adding 2 new zones, 3 new bosses, new equipment, weapons, and even a new starter class, with this relatively going under the radar, so it's good to see continuing work on this game. One of the best games of 2023 is the roguelite pixel art defense tactics title The Last Spell, releasing the Elves of Amberwald DLC, which adds a new playable race in the Elves, having unique traits which varies up the gameplay from Into the Wild, which enhances their strength outside town walls, making them lethal hunters, one with nature, where they get stronger the less gear they use, and finally Infectious Strikes, which can stun enemies and inflict poison. New weapons and traps in the form of seeds further adds to the strategy options, along with a new scenario in defending the secret forest, retaining the excellent pixel art, and is a good DLC. This video is brought to you by Nightmare Busters Rebirth, a reimagined 2D run-and-gun action game originally conceived for the Super Nintendo in 1994, later released in 2013, and is back with a new version, having been meticulously overhauled and blends classic arcade gameplay with modern enhancements. You play as Flynn or Floyd, twin leprechaun brothers, and seasoned nightmare hunters as they embark on a perilous journey to stop the diabolical tyrant's plan to corrupt children's dreams. Having fun-looking action with local co-op support for 2 players as well. Battle through 6 diverse and vividly animated environments, each teeming with relentless waves of enemies and formidable bosses that test your reflexes and strategy. You will get access to a variety of magical attacks and weapon upgrades, varying up the gameplay with gorgeous traditional hand-drawn art and animations, and will also be making physical cartridges for the SNES as well. If interested, they just released a playable demo, so go check that out, wishlist the game, and follow their Kickstarter campaign, which will be launching soon. The first major update for Gal Guardian's Servants of the Dark introduces a new Colosseum-like arena event, which looks similar in concept to the Colosseum of Fools in Hollow Knight, in which you battle successive waves of enemies, culminating in boss fights against Baphomet and Hell Infernoctavius. Additionally, there are various quality of life features which have been added to make the UI a little bit more smooth, giving you more information, along with an upgraded teleport system which allows you to get back to the action more quickly. The game is currently sitting at mixed reviews, and glancing at the reviews, this update does address some of the issues that players have brought up, taking feedback into account, so hopefully they will be able to turn this ship around. Puzzle games tend to end up on the hidden gems video since they don't have as easy a time at getting attention, which is why I want to highlight Kaamos Puzzle Roguelike. This is a combat-focused match 3 title in which you are sliding a looping series of icons on a grid, trying to form groups of 3 or more, after which all of the activated elements trigger, being similar in concept to 10 million or you must build a boat. Your equipment, in the form of weapons, armor, and rings, determines the type of tiles available, influencing your offensive and defensive options, and allows for different playstyles such as a dual-wielding berserker or a heavily armored knight. And with over 180 items, does provide plenty of replayability. It has a cool setup as well, set in a sunless medieval world overcome by madness, in which you are attempting to unravel the mystery behind the disappearance of the sun, with a fantastic minimalist pixel art style as well. Developer Coco Cucumber is an interesting one since by all accounts they do make good games, but none of them have really taken off big, with Ravenlok Legendary Edition being the title of interest here. If I'm remembering correctly, The games tend to be Xbox and Epic Games Store exclusives first, which might explain relatively poor sales performance on Steam, but maybe those exclusivity deals have given the developer enough financial runway to continue making games, with this dark fantasy action-adventure RPG having a fantastic look. Our protagonist comes into contact with a mysterious mirror, which brings them to this dark fairy tale world under the oppression of a tyrannical queen, having to fight back and save the day while trying to find a way home. This has stylish third-person action RPG style combat with enchanting locations to explore and monstrous bosses to battle, which is the highlight in my opinion. The Legendary Edition includes refined combat, better enemy and boss behavior, remastered 3D models, new enemies, new levels, and more quality of life fixes, and is worth picking up if you have not. A pixel art horror puzzle game is Illusion Box, having an interesting setup where these virtual reality entertainment devices were sold in the early 2000s, but malicious rumors and computer viruses forced the company to shut down, and many years later, these Illusion Box devices have started to reactivate. This is partially a Sokoban-style puzzle game, but with a CRT filter and spooky vibes in which you are manipulating furniture and objects to solve environmental puzzles, revealing a story of ambition, failure, and digital decay. The game's retro visuals and glitchy effects creates an unsettling atmosphere as you uncover the inner struggles of the protagonist character and the eerie secrets of the Illusion Box along the way, coming from, I believe, a Chinese developer, and is cool to see. The latest update to Ex-Zodiac adds Stage 11 titled Mirage, a level set in a desert canyon with a Wild West-inspired setting, and pairs you in a ground vehicle. Engage in a dynamic chase against an armored train, navigating through obstacles and enemy fire, complete with robot horses and a challenging boss encounter. Where I thought that this game was just a Star Fox-like rail shooter, but they really are experimenting in early access. We also had the 1.0 release of Synergy, a Pharaoh-style city-building strategy game with a sci-fi theme, where you guide a displaced community to thrive on a harsh alien world. You must analyze the environment, study native plants, and adapt to extreme seasons to ensure your citizens' survival. The game emphasizes harmony with nature, requiring you to balance resource extraction with ecological preservation, assign citizens to research centers to unlock new technologies and cultural advancements, enabling the construction of diverse districts that cater to your population's needs. Expeditions into the unknown yield valuable knowledge and resources, but also pose risks that test your planning skills. The game's art style, inspired by French illustrator Mobius, creates a unique and immersive atmosphere, with the 1.0 release adding dynamic soil mechanics where terrain visually adapts to humidity, temperature, and organic matter. Temperature fluctuations now play a significant role, with increasing heat during dry seasons affecting productivity, along with the actual threat of defeat, since if enough illnesses, death, or failed events accumulate, that can lead to a game over, with a bunch of reworks to existing systems and addition of more new mechanics, and is reviewing well, so pick it up if interested. One of the best Vampire Survivors style bullet heaven roguelites is The Spell Brigade, gaining over 6,500 Steam reviews as of the time of recording, and just released early access update number 9, Dark Devotion. This introduces the new Dark element, which is the 5th, allowing you to corrupt enemies into allies and unlock unique spell synergies. A new wizard, Bryroni, joins the roster and is a potion specialist who is also half plant, with the signature ability of summoning giant plants which attack enemies. This update adds new relics, enemies, and much more, with the usual tweaks, fixes, and improvements, and should end up being one of the biggest games in this subgenre. LONESTAR also released out of early access, a roguelite deck builder where you step into the role of a space-faring bounty hunter navigating a galaxy teeming with criminals to capture. Combat unfolds through a unique shockwave battle system where you deploy energy cards to activate ship-mounted weapons across a grid, aiming to overpower enemies in each lane. Your spaceship isn't just a vessel, it's a customizable platform where you can install and arrange modules, each influencing your offensive and defensive capabilities. There are also a large number of playable pilots to choose from, each with unique traits, offering replayability, and is a cleverly made title. The 1.0 release introduces a wealth of new content, including the new Spectra ship, 13 additional pilots, 85 new ship parts, and 90 new treasures, along with one new higher difficulty level and a final boss encounter, and is a well-made, different title in this space. One of the hidden gems of 2025 so far is The Rangers in the South, a HD 2D pixel art roguelike action RPG set in a fantasy world in which you create your own character with no predefined class, exploring the world, battling enemies, but where death is permanent. They released the Lords of the Undead free update, which adds a significant amount of new content and gameplay adjustments. Confront 5 new world bosses, each presenting unique mechanics and formidable challenges. The Necromancer class, one of my favourite to play in games in general, has been expanded with 15 additional abilities, giving you more options to tackle different situations. Gameplay difficulty has also been increased, with melee enemies across all biomes getting more HP, with a bunch of other improvements as well, so check it out if you love action roguelikes. What did I tell you? When I first talked about None Shall Intrude, the turn-based tactical roguelite deck builder where you played as a massive dragon fighting off would-be heroes, I mentioned that there was plenty of room for expansion in allowing you to play as different bosses, and that is the case here with the Awakening update. This adds 4 new aspects for the dragon in black, blue, green and gold, corresponding to dark, ice, poison and lightning, on top of the red aspect of fire from the initial release. These of course play completely differently from each other, since the Dark Dragon allows you to raise slain enemies as black whelps, the ice aspect can freeze, poison aspect poison, and the lightning aspect playing with the charge status effect, as well as having 2 separate states in Thunder Lord and Earthbender forms, adding a bunch of variety, which is what the game needed. Since the launch in January 2025, they have been hard at work patching and fixing the game, so much so that it is in a good state right now, with this update making it even better. A title chugging along in early access is Drill Core, a roguelite mining colony sim defense title in which you lead a mining crew to drill for minerals and resources, but have to fend off waves of enemies coming from above, having one of the most active developers since they have been releasing one significant content update after the next at a regular clip while in early access. The latest update is titled Oversight Departments, adding a new progression system where you choose from one of 6 departments per mining contract, each offering unique rewards as they level up. These satirical departments includes the Department of Unethical Innovations with their unstable tech, aggressive negotiations focused on intimidation, accidental safety who does not have safety as a goal for the company, overly dramatic solutions using flashy tools like lasers or explosions, chaotic optimizations, which complicates efficient systems, and excessive wealth dealing with ethically questionable resources. Each department grants XP and unlocks perks tied to your contract performance, which will be needed since this update also removes the previous 1000 meters depth limit, along with 9 new block types to dig out, 6 new species of aliens, 15 new buildings and 6 new turrets. The prehistoric farming sim Roots of Pacha has an interesting history in which the developer had a contract dispute with their previous publisher, which resulted in the game being pulled from Steam for a period of time, but no details are available, probably due to legal issues. But the bottom line is that this developer got back control of the game and have been supporting the game well so far. They released the Sun and Moon update, which introduces 2 expansive biomes, the Mograni Mountains and Yaquan Islands, each with 3 distinct subregions, offering new flora like lentils, rye and soap root, and fauna including pandas and dodos. Engage in fresh activities such as bug catching, gem making and soap making, and explore an intricate cave system unlocked by sigils revealing ancestral secrets. There are also 10 new characters, including one new romance option, and features 2 new festivals in the Festival of Quarrel and Festival of Loon, with minigames like dice and music performances as well, looking like an insane amount of content, all for free. So if you love the farming sim, do yourself a favor and check this out. The Vampire Survival Crafting ARPG V-Rising continues to be extremely popular, easily maintaining over 50,000 concurrent players, which is a lot, so support is to be expected, with update 1.1 Invaders of Oakveil. This adds a new area named the Oakveil Woodlands, a new biome corrupted by Megara the Serpent Queen, a powerful witch who has a legion of venom blades to do the dirty work for her. This adds new bosses, including Megara herself, along with new weapons and spells, the ability to mix blood and reforge weapons, quality of life improvements like being able to craft using items from your treasury, as well as more castle decor options, and has truly become a breakout hit. Speaking of bigger titles, Hyper Light Breaker has not had a great launch, selling what appears to be a decent number of copies, but currently sits at mixed reviews, with complaints about it being too early access and has not nailed the gameplay loop and combat mechanics. As evidence of this, they released the Buried Below major update, which significantly overhauls the game's structure, shifting from an extraction-based structure where you had multiple lives and could extract out to save gear and weapons for your next run, to a more traditional roguelite format. You now have a single life per run, with death resulting in loss of inventory items and a reset of the overgrowth environment. Extraction is streamlined, allowing you to exit from any shrine without facing enemy waves, which enhances the risk-reward dynamic. Character progression is redefined through the introduction of Psychoms, which functions as a class-like system with fixed stats and unique perks. The update also introduces a new playable character, a new crown battle enemy named the Maw, as well as major reworks and overhauls to the entire game. This title might be a victim of industry trends, since the one big genre that game developers are trying to crack is the extraction title, which people are seeing as the next big pot of gold, like the Battle Royale, so of course developers will take a swing at the idea, since there is the possibility of infinite money should they become the title like Fortnite, and will of course break a few eggs along the way due to the messy nature of game development. So what you are seeing is a result of this experimentation, and I'm glad that developers are still trying to innovate. The monster taming RPG Cassette Beasts has become an absolute monster in the space, with over 7,500 Steam reviews, where for reference, Koromon is at 5,200, so it's no wonder that the developers are continuing to support the game, where we're looking at the Sunshine update here. Beloved NPC Sunny is now a recruitable partner character, unlocking a new quest line that delves into her past as a land keeper. This storyline becomes accessible after completing the main campaign and features Sunny's signature tape form Pauper, a beast-type monster resembling a bear costume whose bear hug ability transfers negative status effects to enemies. This also adds 2 additional monsters, and in case you didn't know, the gimmick of this game is fusion, where any 2 creatures can be fused into a new one, complete with a new creature sprite, so any new monster added results in an exponential amount of work to account for all these possible combinations. But the game was already good, so it's nice to see this free DLC make it even better. More free updates here in Year of the Crab for the colourful Souls-like RPG Another Crab's Treasure, with the main addition being that of a comprehensive New Game Plus mode, allowing you to restart your journey while retaining all previously acquired Fog upgrades. They didn't just add more health and damage to enemies and bosses, but instead remixed enemy encounters, gave bosses new attacks, and even added additional enemies in previously unpopulated areas. You can now further upgrade your Fog and stow away weight with new sigils as well, and looks like a huge amount of content all for free. There's also a new boss rush mode, which offers sequential boss battles and themed challenges, rewarding you with new costumes for more customization options. Additionally, the museum is now open, displaying exhibits of enemies and bosses you have defeated, serving as a bestiary, And there's one all-new challenging boss fight as well, and it's amazing to see the success of this game and the team. Vampire Survivors has transcended the mainstream, not quite on an Among Us level of popularity, but its success is pretty insane, hence all the Vampire Survivors clones, but the OG still remains the best and extends their commanding lead with partnerships and crossovers with big companies and legendary IP, with the Emerald Diorama update being a crossover with Square Enix's Saga series, as they have previously done with Castlevania and Konami. This adds more than a dozen new characters, each bringing unique mechanics such as puppet summoning, dual wielding or form shifting. It also has 16 plus new weapons that evolve through the Glimmer system, where repeated use unlocks powerful techniques. A new world weaving stage named Emerald Wave has been added, offering a diorama style map with interwoven worlds, with it showing no signs of slowing down, with an expansive roadmap, and who knows what other collaborations are in the works. Just a quick one here, since we did get a new launch trailer for the grimdark top-down action-adventure title Moroi, where you play as an amnesiac prisoner attempting to escape a personalized hellscape known as the Cosmic Engine. This has interesting and brutal weapons and intense top-down action, but gameplay is a bit janky, so bug fixes and tuning are definitely needed, which is a pity since the world is interesting, so hopefully the developers will be able to get it to an acceptable level. If you love the roguelite platformer, you might have come across the astrology-themed Astral Ascent, where you battle zodiac signs in your attempt to escape an astral prison, releasing the Outer Reaches paid DLC, which adds a whole bunch of content. There are 4 new expansive worlds in Shattered Rises, Molten Wastes, Frostbound Expanses, and Obsidian Heights, each featuring unique enemies, traps, and original music. These editions adds 32 new adversaries and 16 environmental hazards, enriching the game's diversity. A notable highlight is the boss battle against Andromeda, a formidable foe who, upon defeat, can be summoned to aid players and unlock a unique narrative ending. Complementing the DLC is the completely free 2.0 update that enhances gameplay with the imprint system, offering 90 unique spell modifiers, which shifts the focus more onto spells, which are supposed to be the core of the game, along with changes to the currency system to make the room rewards more meaningful. Speaking of which, there are also new bonus rooms offering enhancements to auras and echoes, along with a revamped introduction room to help explain mechanics better, as well as improved combat feedback on your attacks, and is a worthy addition. One of the coolest looking titles is Black Shard, a first-person exploration game that immerses you in the vast enigmatic megastructure known as the Labyrinth. As you navigate its surreal corridors and towering architecture, your choices shape the narrative, leading to multiple possible endings. The game's atmosphere is heavily inspired by works like The King in Yellow, with themes of ancient gods and the concept of the tyranny of fate woven throughout. Environmental storytelling is key, allowing you to uncover fragments of memory and interact with mysterious entities that inhabit the labyrinth, where there is just something to monolithic structures like this that always serve as a compelling setting, although it should be noted that it is a walking simulator for lack of a better term, but you're able to jump and explore and does not have combat, so if you love immersing yourself in a virtual environment, this will be of interest. There are some pretty impressive games just doing their thing and continuing to sell many copies in the background, an example of which is the co-op roguelite title Ship of Fools, sitting at almost 4,200 Steam reviews after first releasing in November 2022. The Elves project update adds new NPCs, mechanics, and quality of life improvements, where, upon rescuing Elfie and Pelly in the Darkness sector, this kicks off a quest to restore the Great Lighthouse. This is a new area with its own progression system, where restoring and rebuilding towns in games is always satisfying, along with game modifiers to unlock, like the whimsical Pew Pew mode, which replaces all in-game sounds with a cappella renditions by the developers, or retro mode, which turns the hand-drawn art into pixels. A new electric elemental effect has been added, allowing projectiles to unleash homing electric bolts upon impact, adding more chaos to the combat, and is certainly worth a revisit with a friend. Speaking of major updates, Windblown has been doing much better for itself as compared to Hyper Light Breaker, with this coming to us from the developer of Dead Cells and has launched to a good start, releasing the Sanctuary update with a brand new spooky biome named the Obsidian Sanctuary. This area features new, unique enemies, including 5 new sentinels and 3 variants, culminating in a challenging boss encounter. There are 4 new weapons: Sharp Sisters, Elder Sword, Sentinel Wings, and Fishing Rod, each with distinct abilities, alongside the Chrono Catcher trinket that slows enemies and projectiles down. There are also 2 new enemy variants in existing biomes, and the addition of essentially a corpse run system to make things a little bit more forgiving, retaining their signature fast-paced action, and is an excellent game. One of the most insane looking indie games is the first-person roguelike slasher Mortal Sin, which has been in early access for more than 2 years now, already having 3,000 Steam reviews and an overwhelmingly positive rating, when 96% of those are thumbs ups, with the Pirate update adding a new swashbuckling playable class and a late game area. Most notably, the Pirate uses firearms along with bombs, which is different to swords, also adding a ghost ship themed zone with over 80 new rooms and unique enemies, and is secretly one of the best games in the genre. Watch this video for more of the best roguelites.